I don't know if y'all saw it, but the video game industry got a brand new villain this week. Yeah, Esquire dropped a brand new expose about Jeff Keighley and his Summer Games Fest. Turns out, the whole thing is pretty much just like a massive games as a service, which on one hand kind of feels a little dirty, because events like this, historically speaking, have always felt kind of charity driven, you know, like we're out to help expand the video game industry and celebrate the video game industry. And after reading this news, it kind of feels like I just found out that the Make-A-Wish Foundation has been charging children to grant their wishes. Oh, Timmy can't afford to go to Disney. Oh, that's a shame. But look, I mean, we could make this happen. How many retweets and likes do you think Timmy could get us? But then on the other hand, for as much as gamers hate words like pay to win and microtransactions, I don't think any of us could have predicted that those words would be the glue that binds us together. Legit, what if developers have been dealing with this shit for years and they've been sneaking microtransactions into video games as a message to get help? Developers behind the scenes are like, microtransactions sure suck, am I right? It'd be a shame if someone wrote Congress and asked us to stop doing it. You didn't know developers hid messages in video games? Yeah. Next time you're playing a video game, check a bookshelf. Haven't slept in 5 days, no food, no water, haven't been able to contact my family, send help. I don't actually think I've ever read that book. Anyway, the Esquire article goes on to quote multiple advertising firms who reported that the cost of a 1 minute and 30-second trailer during this year's Summer Games Fest would run a developer $350,000. $450,000 for a 2-minute trailer and $550,000 for a 2.5-minute trailer. And based off those numbers, during last year's show, Summer Games Fest earned over $9 million. Which, round of applause for Jeff Keighley. I knew when you had Crash Bandicoot over at your house during Summer Games Fest a couple years ago, I said, that's a really nice house for a guy doing a show like this. But Jeff, $9.65 million? Sir, I tip my hat to you. And look, I love Jeff Keighley. I think he's a very sincere individual, and I think he's a dude that genuinely cares about the video game industry, but I really did enjoy reading the way that Esquire tried to paint him. Further down in the article, Esquire describes Jeff Keighley as a 45-year-old Canadian journalist and Muppet enthusiast with a penchant for tailored dinner jackets. If you were really trying to paint a villain for this scenario, bravo. You just created the greatest villain of all time. I mean, imagine a guy just chilling in his bunker being like, first step, we kill E3. Second step, we become E3. And then we can charge developers whatever we want. Yeah, making millions of dollars in the process, Jeff. That's right, Kermit. And the best part of it all, they'll never see it coming. And again, this is not me hating on Jeff Keighley. The guy single-handedly created one of the largest outlets for gaming reveals and announcements. Although, journalistic responsibility, let's push the fanboying aside, I do have a ton of questions. Like, one, does everyone pay this price? Because Hideo Kojima shows up to like every one of these shows and speaks for way more than 15 minutes. Does he pay Jeff? Or does he get like the friends and family discount? It also raises a concern for like smaller developers and like, how do you make people aware of your game? Because most indie games barely have a budget at all, let alone $300,000 to spend on a minute trailer that they can reveal during Summer Games Fest. But for the larger predatory practicing developers, I mean, this is kind of like the ultimate Uno reverse card. Hello, Mr. Ubisoft. Yeah, thank you so much for returning my call. Jeff told me that you guys would be interested in being the first game revealed during this year's show. Yeah? Well, just a heads up, your trailer is going to be about 1 minute and 30 seconds, so that's $350,000, and we do need to keep in mind that's an extra $250,000 for the placement in the show. Oh, also, did you want Jeff to introduce your game to the public, or did you want to send somebody yourself? Because if Jeff does it, it's $75,000, but if you do it yourself, You can save some and it will only be $50,000. But also, like, what type of message does this send to the developers who were just laid off by their companies only to see them drop like some mad cash on getting their trailer during the Game Awards? Look, Jenny, I'm sorry that your kids won't be getting a Christmas this year, but good news. You can sit down and watch the Game Awards together and you can actually show your hard work firsthand to your kids. How awesome is that? And at this point, I think it's extremely clear. I am not going to be here being like, damn you, Jeff Keighley. No, in reality, I'm jealous. I wish that I could work 2 nights a year and make $18 million like my buddy Jeff does. And if all it takes is just wearing fancy dinner coats, being a fan of the Muppets, and putting my hand in a frog, then sign me up.
Are you listening?